Gentlemen, welcome back to RootsDojo. Thank you. It's going to be a quick one on attributes. Attributes is a very big topic. It's part of our overall methodology here at Roots and the Systema in general. So we're going to quickly just simply define attribute as the ability to give or take a beating. That's limited to the martial aspect of training. Of course, it's much greater than that. So we'll just mark it as the ability. Now, part of developing attributes in students, there's different methods. We'll do another video on that. What's important to recognize is that, so it's not just this ability to give or take a beating, it's also giving these attributes that most martial artists we develop in students. And we consider that part of character development, right? So as part of character, we're looking at, keeping your pride under control, humility, being patient, being humble, kind. Anyways, those are all aspects of it. And you'll see as we develop this, there's going to be a lot of intersections and cross sections between these different aspects, because of course Systema is very holistic, and extrapolating is not always very necessary. But I just want to do this to help you understand this a bit further. So the different systems that need to be affected as part of developing attributes in students so that you can give or take a good beating and be a good person in life require let's start with our psychological side. Right, so our psychology needs to be developed, meaning that we need to give a really stable base to students, psychological base. And psychological development is not limited just to focus and intention, psychological toughness, mental toughness, resiliency. And you'll see, for example, something like resilience will come up in other aspects of it, right? So having a stable psyche is key to students, and specifically if you're working in professional applications, but also just in day-to-day life is important. The next part we'll take a look at is going to be our physiology, right? So physiologically speaking, students need to gain control of their physiology, especially under duress, right? When shit hits the fan, you need to be able to keep it together. So we're talking here a lot of breath control, a lot of breath development, being able to take care of your nervous system, either if you lose track and you get a chemical dump in your system, being able to recover from it, being able to keep your heart rate, your BP under control. These are all part of our physiology, and it's important that students, through our different methods, rapidly be able to gain some understanding of that. We have, next part is going to be our physical. So part of being able to give and take a good beating, you need to be physically fit, you need to be strong. Again, you need to be resilient, right? So we'll see this come over here, and resilience is a really fascinating topic in martial arts and training, especially when you're dealing with injuries and being able to not only recover to come back to where you were, but to bounce back stronger than where you were before. So we'll cover that in another video. So these physical attributes are commonly, we want to tackle fears, fear of height, fear of not being able to breathe, and again, they have other physiological and psychological ramifications. And we can continue here. So an emotional state, emotions. So students need to be able to stay in charge of their emotions, right? Don't get angry, don't get mad, don't freak out. And of course, it's related to your psychology. It is related to your physiology. It is related to your physical abilities. If you don't trust yourself, if you don't believe yourself, it's good chances that you're going to cover up with your inabilities with fear, and you're going to bark louder than you can bite, right? So it's important that you recognize where you're at and you can be able to keep it together. And of course, as we continue into our journey of developing our students, we know that there is strong spiritual development required as part of our overall attributes. And both psychological stability, character development, and spiritual development, spiritual being spirit, being your breath, being able to work with that, with those notions. So in spiritual work, we're talking often about having compassion, being able to forgive. And we know from our teachers that, yeah, you need to be able to spiritually fit. You need to be comfortable. You need to have made your peace. Otherwise, you're going to get fear. Fear is going to control your movement. Your psyche is going to collapse, etc. Right. So this is a bit, and like I say, they're deeply interconnected. We can't just take the student on day one and say, oh, you need to work on your psyche, right? So we'll come up at some point with another video where I'll share some drills, some very simple drills that most of you may or may not know, but different ways for both instructors and students to realize what's being developed and what are the proper methods. Lastly, I just want to point out that, for example, the military takes the same route to a large extent in developing attributes in their soldiers. And the difference being, in my opinion, that we owe it to our students to not destroy them in the process, not damage them. And unfortunately, which means we need to give it the care and attention that's required, right? So developing these attributes and the methods used, we can give a beating to a student from day one to toughen him up, but is it healthy? Is it sustainable and long term? Is it necessary even? Right? So there is a sequence. Different people are at different places, and you need to understand where you're at and what needs to be developed. And lastly, none of this can be accomplished in your comfort zone, right? So I can talk all I want, you can watch your videos all you want, but you got to get out there and you got to train, you got to find a good instructor, a good school, a dojo to train at, and you got to be pushed beyond your comfort zone, right? That's martial arts, that's in general, not just in Systema and not just how we do it at Roots. We spend a lot of time interacting with nature. We have a great setup here, and it's part of being able to achieve these results in our students, right? I hope you enjoyed it. Anyways, we'll come back to this. It's a huge topic. I hope it gives you some ideas, and look forward to having you. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to our channel and go to our website, sign up for our newsletters. We've got great content coming your way. This is Vali at RootsDojo again, and I'm out. Thank you.